All right, folks. Video blog numero uno. Yeah. Sorry, I have this stupid microphone, but I've got a stupid microphone, so I'm not going to use the stupid microphone in the computer. Anyway, okay. So I threw it out there on Facebook. What should I video blog about? What should I make a video about? I mean, I love talking. I mean, anyone that knows me, man, if you get in 10% of the conversation, you are winning. But, I don't know. I got a lot of opinions, but I don't just want to talk at people. I like to get back and forth. So I threw it out there. John Corsmo chimed in. Hey, do you know anything about Bitcoin? If you do you have any opinions? He was trolling me. He knows my opinions about Bitcoin. But I'll share them again. Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin, man. I love the idea of Bitcoin. I don't know. Bitcoin could go to 1 million. It could go to 0. There's no way to know. What I do know is that it is not it is not monopoly controlled by the government, and I love that about it. Not every other currency in the world, but before 5 years ago, basically every currency in the world is controlled by a government. And they just say, okay, we're the only people that can make money. You can't make money. And so we can do whatever we want with the money. We can give it out to our friends. We can give it out to these big corporations that we like. And I don't like that. I would much prefer to have someone else offer a form of money that was run much more fairly. And I think that's Bitcoin. And it could be something like Bitcoin. It could be something else. I mean, who knows what it's going to be. Anyway, so that's my basic opinion of Bitcoin. Another suggestion: aliens, volcanoes, eschatology, Instagram, and where babies come from. Appreciated that one. I would just say 1, aliens not real. 2, volcanoes. Run! 3, eschatology. Let's all have a little patience. We don't know. 4, Instagram. Instagram, I think, made the selfie replace the autograph. I mean, why would you ever get an autograph anymore if you can just take a picture with someone? I mean, people are selfieing me all the time, man. And 5, where do babies come from? That is a miracle. I do not know the answer to that. It's just patently absurd that we do this extremely simple thing that is quite fun, and then we get a baby. Like, we do the stupidest, simplest, literally caveman, ridiculously easy thing, and from that we get the most complicated thing that has ever existed in the history of the world. That just blows my mind. And then someone tossed in, what is the meaning of fair? That was legitimate. They wanted me to do a blog about what is the meaning of fair, which... that's tricky. I don't think I can get into that tonight. The meaning of fair. There's a whole... That's tricky because, okay, I mean, the world's not fair. Everyone knows, the world's not fair. But we want to go towards... I don't even like the word fair. I like justice. In any situation, you can try to find justice, but nothing will ever be fair. I mean, it's not fair that I just was born, where I was born, that I had the parents that I had, that I've had the life that I've had, compared to someone who has had, something that would be much more difficult, much worse. There's nothing fair about that. There's no way to just determine what's fair. And then we have, just some more nonsense going down the page. But, yeah, I mean, so that's what, the suggestions I got. So thanks, everyone. Great help. This is a tough one. I don't know if I want to lead with this. It says, okay, something close to my heart. This is what Melissa says. She wants me to talk about something close to her heart, which is the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. That's intense because, man, it's tricky because I'm not at all a fan of either of those wars, but I have a lot of sympathy for the people over there that live over there and people from here going over there. I mean, man, that just sucks. You know what pisses me off about that the most? I mean, a kid, I went to Norris. A kid from Norris named Ben was killed in, I think it was Afghanistan. He was killed over there a couple weeks ago, and I mean, it's incredibly sad. He had 2 kids. I mean, uh, it's just terrible. And these assholes in Congress. I mean, it's so easy to tell someone else to go fight, to just send someone off to die, and just go off to your cocktail parties and shake hands and feel important. And I just think it's just bullshit. It's just an incredible amount of bullshit. And I mean, there's nothing good. Nothing good has come out of this. I mean, I do legitimately understand that people had good intentions, that some people had good intentions going in. They thought, give these people freedom, try to help them. I mean, I get that. Now, I don't think that really can work, but I understand that a lot of these guys, like a lot of the bravest people I know, have been over there, trying to do this. And I think it's just a fool's errand. Like, you can't, what are you going to do? So what, you give them democracy. So democracy, right? Yeah, everyone can vote. Well, if your entire culture is centered around, this religious philosophy that basically gives women next to no rights, that, I don't know, that I think is pretty awful, then just giving it over to majority rule, which is what democracy is. We say democracy in this country a lot of times when we mean like freedom or individual rights or something. I mean, it's just democracy. Oh, thank God we live in this democracy, which has nothing to do with anything. I mean, the Bill of Rights, which supposedly, as much as any piece of paper can guarantee anyone rights, laid out things that restrained the democracy. But without that, and without that basic culture already, and there's nothing to restrain the democracy. I mean, they've purged Christians out of Iraq like crazy. I mean, hundreds of thousands fled, died, murdered. I mean, it's terrible. And why was that? It was because we gave them democracy, and they were basically allowed to vote for their preferences, and that was their preference. So I don't know. I just don't think, going and trying to. I just don't think the mission was achievable, and I think it is pretty obviously not been achieved. I mean, we have these Islamic State, like, nut jobs beheading people, and watch the Vice documentary on that. I'm going to post it below. I'm going to put the link to it in the video. So Vice magazine, a bunch of 30-year-old hipsters that somehow manage to get access to the most ridiculous places. I mean, they're in North Korea, Afghanistan. I mean, they got embedded with these Islamic State, ISIS guys, and the things that these people are saying are terrifying. I mean, they are so backwards. It's just staggering. Like, it's hard. Like, I mean, you think, like, we live like in the 21st century, like, I'm talking into a microphone over the internet, and they're trying to establish an Islamic caliphate to control the world. And I mean, of course they're not going to succeed, because it's just so ridiculous. But, oh man, I don't know. These people are scary. And that's the thing. Backtracking. I am all for killing a lot of these bad guys. Like, I'm super pumped about that, really. Like, there's a lot of guys, not just guys, there's a lot of people that that we should be fighting against, that I'm all for fighting against. But when you do it like the United States Army goes in and tries to do something, like, there's so many other motives from the higher up political people, and it's just, I just don't think that is a sustainable way of doing it. And all the civilians that get killed, just the regular people, it's one thing to try to, we're talking about terrorism and stuff. It's one thing to try to convince someone based on some, like, insane religion that they should go kill people on the other side of the world. I mean, and you can do that. I mean, they obviously have done that a little bit. But it is a lot easier to convince people to go fight and die when they know someone who was blown up by an American drone, when they know someone who was killed in the Iraq War. That was just, if their niece was blown up, like it's a lot easier to find recruits that way. And so I just think the whole thing is unsustainable. I'm not for it at all. And I mean, it's terrible because a lot of the guys that are going over there, have genuinely good intentions. They think they're doing something good. And in certain situations, I'm sure they are. But in the long run, I don't think it's going to achieve anything. I mean, anything good. I think the Taliban's back in Afghanistan. These ISIS people, I mean, we're supporting them in Syria, calling them like freedom fighters or something. And then in Iraq, they're like terrorists, because we control Iraq. And it's just a freaking joke. It's a stupid, evil joke. So those are my thoughts on the Iraq War, and the Afghanistan War. Beyond that, man, I got a lot of opinions. Go ahead and, I don't know, YouTube comments, they're scary. I mean, I don't want people telling me I'm just an a-hole all the time. But I would love to talk about things, to give my opinion, to think about things that other people are interested in. Because, I mean, I'm into, I hate to say politics because I hate politics. But I love the idea. I love the philosophies of governments and human interaction, Bitcoin, technology, drones, 3D printing, anything, man. I'm into it. So this is episode number 1. Short, sweet. Well, maybe not that short, but maybe not that sweet. But it's in the can right now. So my name's Luke, at ProFeLuke on Twitter, and probably on some other social networks. I mean, you can find me, if you're watching this, you're probably like my best friend. So thanks for tuning in. If you have anything else or any questions, or if you want to argue with me about what you saw here, maybe we could do, I don't know about a debate, but like some sort of, you shout your point and then I shout my point and then we both get really mad and we try not to break things. So Luke, ProFeLuke signing off. Adios.